All right, let's get familiar with the area we're talking about. We're talking about where I'm pointed to in the red arrow. That's McConkie Ranch area, Dry Fort Canyon. The area in the yellow circle is Blind Frog Ranch, and down at the bottom with the black arrow again is Skinwalker Ranch. Here are the panels that I'm going to be talking about today. Okay, up here you have the Bigfoot panel. Then you have panel 34A. Then you have this one known as Three Kings. I'm going to call it Sun Carriers in this video. Apparently, back when it was first published in a newspaper, it went from being called the Sun Carriers to Three Kings because they thought it sounded better. But we're going to go back to Sun Carriers here. And the last panel I named Happy because everyone just looks so damn happy to me. So anyway, those are the four panels we're going to describe that are all the big panels that include multiple people that are obvious or appear to be obviously in a group. Okay, the first panel we're going to look at today is the Bigfoot panel. This one is so amazing, right? Like, it has the color, it's a pictograph, and a petroglyph because it has the painting on it as well. Let's switch to chalk. You can see a little bit better. You can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 individuals in here. They're the classical vernal style, but you also have these inverted bucket heads, these two characters in the middle. Let's focus on them. Primarily Bigfoot. He's in the middle. He's giant. He's got big feet. He's got an elongated head with, you know, some kind of antlers or feathers coming out of it. He looks to be holding a wrench, strangely enough, with a decapitated head on one side, and on the other side next to him is, let's see, this person, a small person who's likely a child next to them in the white, you know, kind of behind him. And then also next to him to the right is another person with an elongated head. I mean, kind of assuming, you know, they're similar. I don't know. We're going to get into it a little bit more. That's all I want to point out right now in this panel. All right, next up is panel 34A. Again, in this one we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 figures, starting from the right. Left, not right. Not sure if that first person is male or female. It's unclear. Then you have another person with big, like, square ear bobs. In the middle here, we have this person kind of drawn mostly in white, which is attached to the person next to them, which seems to be wearing like a bear mask. See the little headdress wearing there? Moving over, you have another individual with an elongated head and some kind of antlers or a headdress being worn. And finally, all the way over here, to the right, to the left. I don't know my right from left, guys. It's just all the way over here, you've got a horned individual that seems to be holding a decapitated head. Let's keep moving. Okay, the third panel we're going to be looking at today is the Sun Carriers, or the Three Kings. Let's, again, starting from the left, I'm going to get it right this time. All right, you've got one individual way down here with a very strange headdress, like elliptical headdress. I'm not sure if that's the epsilon one they talk about. I'm not sure. But then moving up, we have someone that really appears to be wearing a bear mask to me, with like a little offset spiral coming over, touching the main figure, who has carrying a shield, what could be a decapitated head. That's unknown what this thing here is. You've got spirals all around him. You've got really interesting, you know, headdress and clothing. I mean, this is amazing detail in this one. Next to them, you have like the only kind. See this black and white petroglyph here where the negative space is removed? It's like the only one of its type that has been found, petroglyph in Utah. Really cool. Kind of looks to me like it is a dead body for some reason with the legs hanging down. Who knows? That's really unusual and strange. Then you've got two more characters. One down below the black and white. It's really difficult to see what's going on with that person's head. And then over all the way to the right, you've got one more person that looks to be the tall type of inverted bucket head with tall elongated head, who also appears to be phasing in and out, because you can see, if you look closely at the details, that you can see like his body's been drawn twice. Oh, very interesting. Let's move on. We'll get more into this later. Okay, let's talk about the happy panel. I ran across this article by Carol Patterson, Gesture and Sign Language Reading the Rock Art. She goes through a lot of analysis and study of human gestures and Indian Sign Language, and tells this fantastic story. So I'm going to tell you the story now about this petroglyph. Okay, here it is. We have Adam and Beth. Adam is in love with Beth, or wants Beth to be his wife. Beth, shown right here, does not want to be with Adam. She wants to be with Carl. Carl and Beth have sex and create a baby. She becomes pregnant. Adam doesn't like this so much, so he hires this guy, Dave, to kill Carl. And as a reward, he will pay Dave with the child, Carl and Beth's child. He gives away to Dave. You got it? Let's look at the pictures, and now that you got the story, let's look at the pictures and kind of do some analysis here. All right, let's start over here with Adam, all the way to the left. Adam is the first person, looks like a man, and he has his arm almost reaching down onto the figure, the individual next to him. This individual looks to be a woman based on the skirt, and facing backwards, so that long black is her hair. And it's done this way to show, so you can see that she's throwing her left hand down, because I guess in the sign language, the throwing down with your left hand means to throw something away, like get a divorce perhaps. And then with her right hand, she's reaching out to Carl. Carl is the biggest guy, see in the middle. Underneath him, you have a Kokopelli, which is a symbol of like virility and sexuality, I guess. So that's, you know, that's Carl, and so you can see that. Now in the next panel, you see Beth and Adam again, because let's look at that. Hold on. You see Beth and Adam again. You see in this picture, Adam is touching Beth's shoulder, showing that he is with her. They're married, and that inside Beth's belly, again, you can see the skirt, so it's a woman. It looks like there might be a person inside, right? So she said that looked like Beth is pregnant. Then we have over here, we've got the decapitated head, which everybody, flayed heads or decapitated heads, or pretty much agrees that is what's happening. It's not a mask. And you can see this dotted line over here, reaching up from Dave, means that he came from a long distance. And this dotted line down here means that he owns her. But some people also, this is not from Carol Patterson, but I've also heard that the dotted line connecting somebody means like a spirit guide. But in this case, this was the story. Pretty much everything I've explained so far is based on things I've read, zero speculation on my part. I've got all my references if you guys need them. I kind of wanted to share and work on these things with people and bounce off ideas. So before I put this out there in this kind of form. But anyway, here we go. First, I was just going to let's look at all the severed heads. Remember, all of these petroglyphs or pictographs or rock art are located at McConkie Ranch within a very walkable, I mean, just a few minutes walk away from each other. Um, Definitely worth it if you go. Anyway, so I've got all the severed heads. I've got Bigfoot up there. I've got the sun carriers. Sun carriers, I'm not certain on that one. It looks to me like down here, there's two severed heads here and here. I'm not certain on that one. This one, definite severed head between two individuals. And finally, a horned person seems to be holding this one here. I'm not going to do the speculation myself on whether or not I think it's a severed head, because all the archaeologists I've read, Gauthier came to the conclusion that they were severed heads based on the details shown here. The dripping of the blood is pretty much what cinched it for her, that they had so much detail showing off that it was a severed head. She does a lot of examinations if you want to read her paper. And then Parley Sharfsma also declared them trophy heads. And in the area, here's a good time to talk about this. A lot of people, including myself, don't really like calling the people who drew these petroglyphs and did this wonderful works preserving history for us, were called the Fremont people. And that's just based on some guy went down, and a Western explorer, Fremont, went and found a river and named a river after himself, of course. And then they discovered some ancient people who used to live there and called them the Fremont people. So I just feel uncomfortable calling them about the Fremont culture or the Fremont people, but that's what we're left with, because in other words, so it could be worse. It could be headhunters. So when you use a term, think back, because they had a name and these people were important. And it's really sad that I'm calling them, Eddie and Beth and Adam. I wish I knew better. All right, moving on. Because I was looking at the way they drew the trophy heads, I was looking at some other things. Some of these called pilings. The Fremont pilings, named after Piling is the last name of someone who found them. There's been many found now all over the place. Not all over the place. Anyway, here's a couple pictures of them. I was particularly myself interested in their little, clay things. Oh, you can go to this place on site. I'll link it down below, where the piling 3D models, so you can flip it around like virtually and literally stare at it as close and as much as you want. Absolutely, so much fun and amazing to do. Back anyway, so here's one of the pilings. I don't know if it's an exact match. I'm just saying, like, just see how the face makeup looks similar, and it's kind of cool. I don't know, interesting. On to the next character. Now, I'm not the first person to say that some of the individuals look like they could be similar individuals here and there, but I hadn't seen a side-by-side comparison done. But you know what? I don't have access to all the archaeological and rock art journals and things, so school me, teach me more. But anyway, here, I did this myself. Here are, out of the 4 panels, I found 3 that look like they were potentially wearing bear masks. Tell me what you think. All right, then I went through horned headdress people. You can see on 3 of the panels there appear to be horned headdresses. The sun carriers. This guy's all the way on the left, all the way to himself. I've not figured out what to make of this dude. You've got this guy in the middle on the Bigfoot panel with the horns. Yeah. These are hard, right? And then the guy all the way to the right on panel 34A, again, horned individual. Just to show you what a horned headdress would kind of look like, if you get the idea, like, I don't know, I get it. And the earbobs over here, like some things like that. I mean, that to me, that helps. That makes a little bit more sense, right? I think when I call this individual Laura Croft, it comes across wrong, but I can't help it. Okay, the white tank top is just killing me. Okay, but in two of these panels here at at McConkie Ranch, which is east of Skinwalker Ranch, we have in 3 of the panels people. that could be the same person. We've got my happy panel, which was described as possibly being the child of um, two people given away, unsure if it's in marriage or as a slave, to this individual with the bare head. Okay, so in the middle, in the Bigfoot panel, it clearly looks like the same individual, I believe, as the happy panel, based on the clothing and hair, and the attachment. You can see that the person is attached to another person in each of these, including P34A. Again, it's different outfits, different clothing in this, but it's still white and different than everyone else. It could potentially be the same individual as the other panels. Maybe not, but it is a similar panel, white and attached to another person. And in this last panel, it does look like that person is wearing a skirt. Finally, we have this guy. I call him P32 because there's a panel, P32, over here where that is him. He's got this thing in his hand over here. There's people and things, you can't see everything, and that's why I did this. I'm getting to like a further understanding so that next time when I go back, I can get to like a better understanding of looking for details and looking for new things. So hopefully if you have the chance to listen to this and then go and check it all out, you can let me know if I'm full of shit or not. And I'm actually not doing any conjecture except at this point to say that, like many other people have said, many other archaeologists have said, that this P32 and this guy on the Bigfoot panel really seem to be the same person. All right, who is this Bigfoot guy anyway? This is called the Bigfoot panel. To me, it looks like he's holding the giantest wrench I ever saw in my life. Does that just... Is it a club? Is it a wrench? I don't know what it is. Anyway, he's got giant feet, knees, the whole thing colored in. He's got hands that have 6 fingers on them. He's got a very tall bucket headdress, perhaps wearing a thing with maybe something like carved in the center that he is special. I mean, he's got his hand waved in front of this other individual here in the white. He looks to be carrying what we're just going to go ahead and say is a decapitated head. This other guy looks like he may have killed it. I don't know. We don't know what's going on. Anyway, this is your Bigfoot guy. Now, a lot of people think that this means that there are giants in the area. I have no idea. I'm just starting this investigation like you, so don't tell you. A lot of people think this means they're giants. Maybe he did have big feet. Maybe it's showing that he had white feet. Maybe it's definitely showing he had white hands and 6 fingers. To me, this is all entirely my speculation. The dude looks like he's Anunnaki. I don't know. There's not a lot of others like it. There are a lot of, inverted bucket heads. So I wanted to show you this. Here are some of what you call inverted bucket heads from Jesse Warner, analysis of inverted bucket head hunters. It's actually a really fascinating paper about like so much more than I can comprehend at this point, with the symmetry of the eyes and location of jewelry and things. It's really, really excellent paper. But here's some pictures of different bucket heads. Okay, so I wanted to talk about who, like, this Bigfoot guy, right? And this panel shows Browns Canyon Panel, which is all the way in northwestern Colorado. It's a long ways from here, but the similarities it's just too much similarity for that person not to be indicating the same culture or potentially the same person. Okay, last but not least, we're doing the sun carriers. This is the last thing I'm going to major speculate. Holy shit. The central figure in the middle with that headdress looks to be holding a shield and maybe something off a pole, a decapitated head. You've got the dead body over here. You've got some other things going on. Like I speculate this is the Bigfoot guy. Um, just the similarities are so great. Not like think they're Oh, another thing I see in this. This is just of me. I think this is post Columbian. I think this is a horse here underneath him. Now, tell me I'm wrong, please. But I think this is Aztec. I did read this paper that said it's Kiowa from Linda McNeil. Oh my God, her paper. I will put the link here below. The PDF file is amazing for her presentation. It showed that the Kiowa are in that area. They're basket waver type 2s that interacted with the Fremont. Now, I'm not going to speak a lot about it because I really don't know that much. I have a lot of speculation and things I've gathered, but this is the best I'm doing for just the petroglyph for now. We'll talk about Fremont people, culture in another video. So here's why I think it looks Aztec to me. So I break out the 1547 Mendoza Codex and start looking at the pictures of the Aztecs. And you know what? To me, the shield looks remarkably similar. Absolutely. It has most of the horizontal stripes, which I'm not seeing a lot of those in the Mendoza Codex, but you know, I mean, it's just one book, right? But the concept and with the panels hanging down, it really is a very similar shield. Continuing, I wanted to look at the headdress, and you can see in the circle, there's the hair looks really similar to the same. And then look at this bear guy, right? It's a bear costume, a bear mask, and that certainly looks like the same, very similar as what you're seeing in the sun carriers. Here's the sun carriers again. Let's just admire it. It is absolutely one of the most beautiful petroglyphs I've ever seen. So much to unpack, such a story to tell, and I haven't even started. I would love to know more. Send me some information if you know more about the sun carriers or the three kings, and let's keep talking about these petroglyphs. There's a lot to unpack, and we haven't even got to the wormholes yet. So have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Melanie. Bye.